Hey guys, so done with the hunt tonight, and as you guys saw in the description or the title of it, whether you saw this on Facebook or on YouTube, Bertier is confirmed alive and back. I am shocked. We had not gotten a picture of him since November 17th, I think was the last picture slash video that we had gotten of him. He was actually nose to the butt of a doe, and then we got pictures of him to the north side of the property that same day, along with two other bucks, one being Mr. Piggy, which is a big fat bully of a buck who was clearly old enough last year. I mean, he's probably a 5.5-year-old deer at minimum. He just does not have antler genetics in his body. Anyways, yeah, tonight's hunt was excruciating. It was gut-wrenching. It made me want to throw up. It made me want to throw things. It made me want to be happy, dance. There was a lot of mixed emotions. Frustration right at first, but now I'm just grateful, you know, or whatever. But I'll actually take you to the hunt where I kind of set up what happened as I walked in. Hey guys. So we didn't quite have the start to the hunt that we wanted. I already told you that I had to elect to hunt this stand. Earlier this summer, I thought about walking this tree line, and I kind of halfway cut a trail down through this hedgerow that's only about 8 yards wide between the edge of the food and the fence. Well, the issue, I've now had deer use it. This is the third time, and there were deer bedded right in this hedgerow. One was a young buck I got a good look at. The other one I never saw, but I heard it buzzed. It sounded big. So in an effort to not make this video last really long, I decided to cover call to make deer think that what they heard when I walked in about 25 to 35 minutes prior to when I started calling, because I had to climb, get set up, get the bow up and everything, was just deer fighting. So I grunted a couple times and I rattled, and then I called, and lo and behold, the night I got home, I left the camera running to just catch some B-roll and everything, and I started watching all around that side of it, and lo and behold, sure enough, Bertier pops out of the bedding across the clover chicory from me. And from what I can tell, when I zoom in, it gets more pixelated and I can't tell for sure, but looking at the footage that I'm about to show you, looks like he walks north and then heads east over to the pond down that trail, which means he really just bursted out of that tree line that he was in, crossed the clover chicory opening, and into the bedding area that he uses a lot. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that he wasn't spooked too bad. And you'll see that I call to him and he actually turns his head. You may or may not be able to see that, and I don't think if he had me pegged or he feared for his life or he knew what had spooked him was a predator or danger, he wouldn't have acted interested. When I did grunt the first time right at him, when I saw him, he turned his head, he looked right at me, and he didn't move, and he was intrigued. But then he was like, no, and just kept walking. So, you know, I'm sure he's not very confrontational. But let's watch that quick footage. You might be able to catch a glimpse of it in the spot on the screen where he moves a little bit. God bless my wife, because she's like the ever-present positive energy. Whenever I text her about bad things happening, she's always like, it's okay, you know, stay positive. It's been rough. 2017 has not been a fun season. Well, I shouldn't say that. I've had a lot of fun learning how to video my hunts. The attention that that brings to it. I've begun to love it. I wish I could have got him on video, but there's no way. He may have been moving in the background while I was recording after I called, but where the camera was, I'm sure my head was probably blocking him. But I'll play it back tonight. But I still can't believe that it's like December, I don't know, 20th today. I finally get to see him on off, and it's a fleeting glance, well out of range, walking away. He's not coming back tonight. I'm just hoping I didn't blow the area for him, because I really want him to feel safe. You know, if I don't kill him by the time the season's done, I really, really, really am hoping that deer lives. I'm gonna be worried about him pretty much forever at this point until he dies, because I don't know if he can escape coyotes. But you know, you hunt long enough, you're gonna have years like this that I'm having. You know, we've got very few shooter bucks. You know, earlier this year, October 16th or 17th, I can't remember, I was faced with or November 16th or 17th, sorry. I was faced with one of the toughest decisions. A great buck. Just that night wasn't quite what I was looking for. He may have fooled me, I don't know. But I passed him. Biggest buck I've ever passed in my life. And we haven't really had much buck action elsewhere. Really, there's only 3 or 4 deer that I know are 3.5-year-olds or older, no doubts. That's Bertier and Mr. Biggie here, and one buck at the swamp property, and that buck I passed, I know he was 3.5 looking at his body. But you hunt long enough, you're gonna have rough years. You're gonna have years where the timing is wrong. You just don't have good luck. You gotta remain positive. I actually posted something on my personal page yesterday about how hunting reminds me a lot of my walk with God, and that, you know, I used to always describe hunting as my escape, and I think it still is, but it's odd that my escape that I run to has just as many challenges and just as many failures, especially bow hunting, as my life does. I guess the reason why maybe it feels like an escape is because you fail at hunting, you don't lose your life, your eternal salvation doesn't have anything to do with it. But it's amazing the parallels that can be drawn between the two. And I know I don't share my faith much, and I know for some of you this might shut it off, but there is something to be said for what hunting teaches you and how hunting molds you into a man who's met failure and has either chosen to give up or push through. Chosen to do things the right way, not the wrong way. Even if that means you see more failure. It's a beautiful thing, it really is. So, I'm gonna attempt to swallow my pride. Be thankful I even got to see a glimpse of him. I've hunted deer for many years and not even caught a glimpse of him before. If that's the last image and the only image I ever see of Bertier live, I'm thankful for it.